It's so exciting to be surrounded by a family of killer whales, but they're really difficult to film. Hello and welcome to the Travel Show. This week I'm in Taiwan. Now most people who head here will come to Taipei, a bustling metropolitan city. But in a moment I'll be getting out of the capital and travelling to the east of the island to sample a new type of working holiday that's proving to be a stress relief for burnt out business people.
I never think of any job issues when I was painting, maybe because I was too tired.
But first, here's what else is coming up on this week's program. Our global guru helps one traveller plot a breathtaking journey through Central America. And we're in China as Ben Zan sets out on an adventure across the mainland using only a smartphone as his guide.
Where are you?
I'm on a path.
What?
I'm on a path near the Hallelujah Mountain.
Let's start this week in Taiwan. The capital, Taipei, is home to what was once the world's tallest building, Taipei 101. And you'll find plenty of stressed office workers here all dreaming of their next holiday away from it all. But I've come here to join a group of people who have decided that giving something back can be a great way to unwind. And the first part of my journey involves a 2-hour ride on a bullet train, leaving the capital behind and heading east to Hualien, a county overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It's home to the Jinpu people, a tribe known locally and appropriately given the weather here as Sons of the Sun. But I'm not here to soak up the rays just yet. I've got some work to do. Okay, so the deal is, in exchange for a cut-price cultural holiday, I've got to do a bit of work around the village. And now I'm heading for my first task, and I'm told this will come in handy. A couple of years ago, the villagers in Jinpu came up with the idea of offering cut-price holidays to outsiders in return for their help in keeping the community alive. As many young people had left the town looking for work, its older inhabitants were finding it hard to keep up with DIY and other chores. And that's where the holidaymakers who offer a helping hand come to the rescue. Each summer, the locals now open their doors to tourists looking for a working holiday, in return for a slice of life with the Jinpu people. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Good. So you're going to show me how to paint the wall.
Sure.
So this wall looks like it's already been painted.
Yeah, normally it is about 3 to 4 layers because this is placed near the ocean. So it get very easy to damage. So you need to repaint it again and again.
There weren't a lot of employment opportunities here, so when it comes to creating jobs in this area, tourism has become really big. I think people find this type of working holiday appealing. It gives them something different to do and it helps brighten up the village, but it also creates jobs.
So they choose 3 colors. The orange color for the edge and the roof.
Tom is one of 60 volunteers here for 4 days to help repaint the houses, and he says that this type of break makes a welcome change from his life back in Taipei. You've seen how the people live here. How different is it from the way of your life in Taipei?
Okay, we are in Taipei, it's a metropolitan, it's a big city. Here for us, it's more like a countryside. So they are very relaxed, very nice people. But we don't have that kind of relaxed life in Taipei. We just work, and the time we have is only the weekend.
So I'm off on my next job and I'm told my lift has arrived. Believe it or not, this is how the locals get around. 谢谢. distinctive sunburnt orange paint is a common theme here in the village, but my next job calls for me to get a bit more creative with it. I'm off to meet Jessica, a logistics worker from Taipei, whose job this morning is to recycle old fishing buoys and add some more colour to the village. So is this like a stress relief for you?
Yes, it is. I never think of any job issues when I was painting, maybe because I was too tired.
On average, the volunteers pay around $200. That's around £120 for the 4-day stay in Jinpu, and that covers all food and accommodation. Of course, working holidays aren't new, but the organisers of this scheme are careful to limit the numbers of people they sign up. And so far, the locals here seem happy.
It's a tug of war between trying to preserve our culture and also attracting more business. So we only run this program twice a year for 4 days, and we only allow between 40 to 60 people to take part at any one time. That way we think we keep the balance just right.
But it's not all work and no play, as I find out very early the following morning. It's really early. It's like just before 4, but I'm told this will be worth it. Fishing is the lifeblood of the people here in Jinpu. Their fortunes are tied to the sea, and today we're hoping to catch a glimpse of something rather special.
So we're actually on a whale watching boat, but our guide says we're unlikely to see some whales, but we'll probably see some dolphins and a spectacular sunrise.
This part of the world lies on the Tropic of Cancer, the imaginary ring, which circumnavigates the world and denotes the line of latitude where the sun shines highest in the sky for the longest during the day. And hundreds of thousands of people come to Taiwan every year to take part in events that mark the summer solstice in June. And at around 5:30 in the morning, I get to see why.
So we've been watching the sky change from a pale pink in the very early morning, and it's gradually getting brighter and brighter and more orange. And now we've got this blaze of sun here, which is making such a spectacular view. There's almost like a different shade of orange every minute.
But fairly soon after the sunrise, we get our first glimpse of what we've really come to see: killer whales. Whales are a protected species here in Taiwan, and to see them this close is truly breathtaking, and a special reward for me and all the hard-working volunteers.
It's so exciting to be surrounded by a family of killer whales. Apparently it's the first sighting of the season, but they're really difficult to film because as soon as they come up, they're gone again.
This type of working holiday isn't for everyone. For a start, it's not the most relaxing break. The days are long and you'll need plenty of stamina. You'll also be sharing accommodation, which can sometimes be quite basic. But if you want to give something back while leaving your everyday worries at home, maybe this kind of break could be just what you're looking for.
Well, if you'd like to have a go at a working holiday, here's the travel show guide of things you might want to think about before you book.
If you want to get involved in a meaningful cause and gain some skills at the same time, there are hundreds of volunteering projects on offer, ranging from lion conservation to working in schools. You should, however, consider the ethics attached to the projects, as some have been criticised recently for causing more harm than help. A few organisations offer a breakdown of where their money actually goes. If you're looking for a summer job that actually pays as well as allows you to go abroad, then theme parks could be a good option. You'll have to graft hard, but you'll get lots of interactions with customers and should hopefully meet like-minded people. Before choosing where to go, it's essential to find out which countries you're eligible to work in and what the criteria is, as this does vary significantly and may depend on your country of origin.
Time now for your travel update.
Tourism officials in Jordan are celebrating after UNESCO declared that a site on the eastern bank of the River Jordan is believed to be the place where Jesus was baptized. Traditionally, a site on the western Israeli side of the river has also claimed to be the location. Every year, tens of thousands of Christians travel to the river to be baptized. Many experts have said that there is no archaeological evidence to support the claim. In the UK this week, the country's busiest airport, Heathrow, was forced to cancel a number of flights and close its main runway for almost 3 hours. The shutdown came after a number of protesters against airport expansion broke through a perimeter fence. And finally, 4 cheetahs have been treated to birthday cake for breakfast at San Diego Zoo this week. The cubs celebrated their first birthday by tucking into the cakes, which were made from ground beef and frozen blood.
Still to come on the travel show.
Planning a trip across the Rocky Mountains? Our global guru has advice on the best routes. And
English? No, no English. Do you speak English? No, no English.
Ben Zan faces the first of many challenges as he kicks off his epic journey across China.
Welcome to the slice of the show that tackles your questions about getting the best out of travel. We're off to Turkey and Canada shortly, but first, plenty of people have got in touch about Fiumicino Airport in Rome. Following a devastating fire there in Terminal 3 in May, airlines have been allowed fewer slots at the Italian capital's main airport. Some flights are being diverted to Rome's second airport, Ciampino, and others to Naples. Airlines are offering flexibility to switch flights but are stopping short of paying for ground transportation and are not obliged to pay compensation. Now, I know from experience how distressing it is to fly to a new country and then to be refused entry because of a bureaucratic snarl-up. Linda Smith had that experience when she flew in from Singapore to the Chinese capital.
I planned to be in Beijing for less than 72 hours and was led to believe I wouldn't need a visa. Unfortunately, on arrival at Beijing airport, I was turned away, seemingly because I was flying back to Singapore rather than on to a different country.
Linda, thank you for getting in touch. Sorry to hear about your experience. It appears you've been badly advised. China has recently relaxed the red tape for short visits to Beijing, Shanghai and 6 other cities. Travellers from many countries are now allowed to stay for up to 72 hours without a visa, so long as they are in transit to a third country. In other words, going from A to B to C. Sadly, anyone flying from A to B and back to A doesn't qualify and is expected to apply for a visa in the usual way. So I suggest you have a robust conversation with your travel agent. Next, Fraser Murdoch from Glasgow in Scotland is one of millions of tourists heading for Turkey this summer.
Should I get Turkish currency before I go or when I arrive?
When you arrive, because you are sure to get a better rate. This year, the Turkish lira has been having a torrid time. In the first 6 months of 2015, it lost about 20% of its value against the US dollar and the British pound, and around 10% against the euro. With high inflation prevailing in Turkey, the slump is likely to continue. So rates are going to improve in your favour every day that you wait. Once in Turkey, you'll find that bureaux de change are very competitive. Finally, Alison Stubbs has a simple question about Canada's premier train ride.
We're going to make a trip on the Rocky Mountaineer next year. Is there a preferred direction for views?
This heritage train has a range of itineraries between British Columbia and Alberta, taking you through the Rocky Mountains on some spectacular lines, notably between Vancouver and Banff. And because it's a tourist train, journeys are timed to take place entirely in daylight, unlike the Canadian scheduled Trans-Canada service, which is much more rewarding going east than west. So just choose the direction of travel that suits the rest of your plans. But I hope I can persuade you to add on a coastal rail experience that is, in my book, one of the best train trips in all of North America, the Cascades train, which clings to the Pacific shore between Vancouver and Seattle. We've reached the end of the line for now, but remember that Global Guru is the element of the travel show that aims to help with every aspect of your journey. So whether you're cruising the ocean or planning for Christmas, just email The Travel Show and I'll do my very best to find you an answer. From me, Simon Calder, the Global Guru, bye for now and see you next time.
Next up, we're off to China, a vast country which, despite being well established on the tourist trail, is still a daunting prospect for many travellers. We sent Ben Zan on an adventure with an unusual tour guide, his smartphone, and the task of using travel apps and social media to get around the country. He begins his journey in Hong Kong, just a few miles from mainland China, but another world in terms of internet freedom. To find out what challenges await, he kicks off in the busy shopping district of Mong Kok.
Okay, so this is pretty much one of the loudest, brightest and busiest places I've ever been in my life. I'm on my way right now to meet a man who's going to explain to me how all this is going to work when I get to mainland China.
That man is Professor Jack Chio, a guru in modern Chinese communication.
It's a different universe, okay, in Hong Kong compared to mainland China. It's because of the Great Firewall of China.
The Great Firewall is basically how the Chinese government controls what information citizens can access on the internet. Twitter, Facebook, even Google are generally inaccessible on the mainland, so they won't be of much help when trying to get around.
To try to experience the Great Firewall of China is definitely a punishing process in the beginning. But once you get used to it, there's some strange fun. When you are no longer disappointed by what you cannot access, you get surprised by the new things you found.
So I've pretty much accepted things are going to get a lot more difficult once I leave Hong Kong. But luckily, I have figured out where I'm going to go next. And that is this place, the Zhangjiajie Park, I think it's pronounced. I found an app that allows me to explore the park, riding a horse, which everyone does when they explore national parks. And even though it's virtual, it still looks incredible. So I'm going to go and see what it looks like in real life.
The park is 500 miles to the north, in Hunan province. But with no direct flights, I've flown into the city of Changsha.
English? No, no English. Do you speak English? No, no English. I have arrived at Changsha train station. Slightly nervous, heard a lot about Chinese trains. So let's see how it goes.
Ahead of me is the joy of a 6-hour night train.
Okay, good news is I managed to make it onto the train. Bad news is it turns out Jack was right. Twitter doesn't work, Facebook doesn't work, and even YouTube doesn't work. So this may be the big move to Chinese social media I was expecting. For now though, it's bedtime. So, good night.
The next day, and I've made it to Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. But it seems like a lot of other people have had the exact same idea.
Turns out it's not quite the tranquil getaway the app originally suggested. It's actually the complete opposite, which is completely rammed with domestic tourists.
But when you take the trip to the top, it's easy to see why they come.
So I want to go to a few of the quieter, more hidden places. And to do that, I'm going to use WeChat, which is kind of like an amalgamation of Facebook, WhatsApp and Yelp, to find myself an English tour guide.
WeChat, or Weixin as it's known in China, is huge here. There are over 500 million monthly active users. As well as being used for messaging, it's full of local companies and services. It does use mobile data, so I've bought a local SIM card for the job. A few messages later, and I've managed to track down an English-speaking tour guide called Nikki.
Video call, okay.
Hi.
Hello, Nikki. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Where are you?
I'm on a path.
What?
I'm on a path near the Hallelujah Mountain.
You stay there and I will come to find you.
Okay.
Our first stop is the 1 kilometer tall Hallelujah Mountain. This was actually the inspiration for the floating mountains in the highest grossing film of all time, Avatar.
So Avatar gave you a job, in a way?
Yes, maybe, perhaps. And we will go more beautiful place.
But I found Nikki to help me escape the crowds. So after a few sneaky shortcuts and some lesser known paths, we finally found ourselves with a bit of peace and quiet.
If you come to here by yourself, oh, this just a rock, big rock, small rock. But if you have guide, this is look like monkey, this look like a fairy maiden. Oh,
a guide
it's
or an
interesting.
imagination.
Yeah.
It had been a successful first day in mainland China. It would have been all too easy to get lost in the huge crowds here. But thanks to the power of social media and an English-speaking guide, I'd found a tranquil corner to enjoy the landscape.
Well, that's all we've got time for in this edition of the programme. Don't forget, if you'd like to follow the rest of the Travel Show team wherever they are in the world on their journeys in real time, you can sign up to our social media feeds. The details are on your screen now. Coming up next week, Ben continues his journey across China and tries to get to grips with translation apps with varying degrees of success.
Let's go for an easy one. Toilet. Do we have toilet? Beef ears.
Wow, it's pretty luxurious and spacious as well.
And Addie's in Spain's Costa Blanca, checking out the holiday home market and asking if it could be a good time to buy there again. So join us for that if you can. But in the meantime, from me, Carmen Roberts, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Taiwan, it's goodbye.